And we are live. Testing, 1 2 1 2. Welcome to House Culture Conversations, and our guest Emery Lee. Emery Lee, how are you?
Good, man. I'm taking it easy, you know how it is.
Taking it easy these days with tariffs and crazy economics. You taking it easy? You must have a secret.
Man, I ain't stressing, man. I've been poor before.
Now we all know something about that, right? We
So,
all had our fair share of ramen noodles.
That's where you truly find your soul.
That's it. That's when you know what house music is all about, right?
Exactly.
That is it. Dreammaker Diva in the building. How you doing?
What's your YouTube site so I can see what's happening all over there?
If you just go to House Culture Conversations, and then you can put your name, Emery Lee, it should come up. And while you're doing that, how you getting along?
I'm getting along well, man. You know, I can't complain. You know, I feel blessed. You know, so my family is healthy. You know, and my mom is good, and making new friends. You know, linking back up with old friends. You know, it's a nice community here in Chicago.
Yes. Well, that's the place where we come from, right? So tell me a little bit about you, where you grew up, and how you got into this thing called house.
Man, I grew up in Hyde Park in the South Shore area. I mostly got turned on to house music when I lived in South Shore. I spoke to Glenn Underground and Ron Carroll and Demetrius Orr and some other people. Come to find out, we all like grew up kind of like within the same 2 mile or 3 mile radius, right over there in South Shore on the South Side, and we swear there must have been something in that water, South Shore.
You're talking about legends. I mean,
yeah, man.
Carol, Glenn Underground, these cats. I mean, they have the heartbeat and the pulse of house.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because like I just met GU maybe like 3 years ago at outside of this place where they have parties at the Palazzi Club here in Chicago. And then we start talking, and he was like, "Wait, hold up, you talking about some of the same teachers I had in elementary school?" And I'm like, "Oh, wait, hey, you wait, you know what I'm saying?" And it was really interesting, you know, how like you reminisce on those days, and then you start like talking about like the really weird nuances about your elementary school teachers.
I tell you what, you learn that, you know, the house community, we are very close knit, and you find out that over time you're connected, whether you went to
Yeah,
grammar school, whether you were at high school, or you went to each other's high schools to
yeah,
party, and then you went to colleges together. And so when you come back to like a chosen few or something, you're like, wait a minute, don't,
yeah.
are you kidding me? And so, man, I hear that story so often.
So check this out. So I, you know, in my on my Mixcloud profile or whatever, um, I put a description in there and talk about how like I started DJing, and so my wife and I, we used to live over in Osaka, Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we moved back to the States, and and I'm like, hey, you know, it's pretty nice out. You know, let's go to the Japanese garden over there in Jackson Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go over there, you know. This was before we had a child, and I'm like, what's all that thumping? You know, what's all that thumping? And I'm like, wait a second, you know, there's some major thumping over there. We got to go investigate, right? We walk over there. We and this was before Chosen Few had like tickets or you know like that. And we roll up in there, and I'm just walking around. I just had like a blanket, you know, and and it was really tripped out, you know, because it's right there in Jackson Park, right, and it's just north of South Shore, right. I'm seeing people I went to high school with. I my I was a class president my last year, right? So people were calling me like, "Hey, Mr. President, you want a scallop?" I'm like, "Oh my god." I'm like that's bad love, dude.
Now, when did you start DJing? Did you DJ in high school before you went off?
No, I started DJing when I lived in Osaka, right?
Hmm.
So we moved to Osaka in like I think like 2002 or something like that. Yeah, I think it was 2002, and we stayed there for until like 2006, right? So we were at no 2006, yeah, 2007. We were there. We were there for 5 years, right? And after like 2 years of going out thinking I'm gonna hear some good house music and not hearing it, I was like, you know what? Let me just try this out, and so I could, you know, play some house music that resonate with me, you know, for what I know is proper. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to another DJ, and this other DJ told me about this guy who owned a bar, and to ask him. And I asked him, and he was like, "Sure." He goes, "Yeah, come in, play every Thursday night from like 10 p.m. to 4 a.m." And I was like, "Cool, I'll come through. I'll play music from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. without a doubt. I don't know if it's gonna be good or not, but I can tell you this: I'm gonna get better." You know, so I kept a positive attitude about it. Yeah, man. So that's where it all started.
Wow.
2006, 2000. Yeah, I think it's 2006.
Now,
You
what
know?
led to you moving over to Osaka, Japan?
So when I was in elementary school, the school I went to down in Hyde Park changed it to like a foreign language academy.
Mm-hmm.
And every student had to pick a language of choice, right? And since this was like, I don't know, like the 80s, late 70s, my mom was like, you should learn Japanese because it seems like, you know, like they the one that got the come ups, you know? And then you know, by learning it, you may get an advantage in the future. Little did
Smart.
little did I know that that would come in handy after I got out of school, you know. And I took the little Japanese when I was in college, and then after I got out of college, I kept studying more, and then I lost my job, and I'm like, well, I'm having a child, I'm not married. Let me see if I could, you know, try to do that and apply for a job. And they sent me and my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. So Yeah, man, it was a very interesting
There it
experience.
is. There it is. And
Yeah,
then you start playing house music there, and you're there for 5 years. And
yeah,
then you decide to come back home to
yeah.
Chicago. And so what transpires? You're back in Chicago. Now what?
Let me tell you, in Chicago, now I'm gonna be straight up with you. We're pretty spoiled here because there's so many excellent house DJs, just DJs in general, R&B, hip hop, tech, trance, whatever. The talent here is immense. So when I got back here, I was like, maybe I'm not gonna DJ anymore. I can just, go out and enjoy myself, listen to these other excellent DJs play. And then but I still kept buying more music, because I enjoy, the music. And during the dreadful pandemic time, I'm like watching Twitch, and supporting the artists in Twitch, because I'm like, man, there's a lot of people that aren't playing in the clubs anymore, and doing private events. I'm like, yeah, you gotta support your community, you gotta help support the creatives. And so I started watching people, do it, and then I was like, you know what? Let me pick this back up. So first, it started off with me just creating like a mix every quarter and just sharing it with my friends and family. And some of my friends were like, "Dog, what are you doing? Send me more. Send me more. I want to get more."
Once a quarter ain't gonna get it done. You need to step it up.
Yeah, they were like, "Send me more of what you got, because what you got is fire." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "You just pulling my leg, right?" You're always like, your opinion of your creations is always biased.
Absolutely.
It's your baby, so you always gonna want to support it or whatever. I'm not trying to be big headed or nothing. I'm just trying to share the love. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's
And,
it. Because it's all about the music. It's all
yeah,
about the music.
yeah. And so I supported, people on Twitch, and then I started looking at my profile and saw the number of followers go up, and then I started like chatting, building rapport with like Portia Live and some others, yourself, John, JD,
Right. Absolutely. The pit crew
yeah,
down in Peoria.
Pit crew, and just chatting with them and stuff. And they like, "Dog," JD's like, "Dog, dude, you gotta get on Twitch, man. You might as well." And M Breezy was like, "Man, you need to get on Twitch. I want to see you. I want to see you spin. I want to see you play some music." So I was like, all right. So for like a year, so it was on my list for like, I have like a goals list in my office here, and it was on the list last year, and I didn't get around to it. And initially, I was like, I look back at that list and I start looking at all the stuff I had checked off, and there were a few unchecked. I'm like, no, this year, got to do it.
You not only went on Twitch, but you created a Mixcloud station. Now, do you go live on Mixcloud, or because I think you do your Mixcloud mixes more regularly?
I just post my monthly mixes on Mixcloud, right? So I think about maybe 2 years ago, I started sharing those quarterly mixes on my Mixcloud account. And then I believe like around fall of 2023, I started putting out a monthly mix. And it's been challenging, because it's like I'll get some new music and I start to try to think like, what old school track would go with this new school track? This newer produced track, and it's just pretty exhilarating figuring it, trying to figure out what works with what you can do with this, what you can do with that, and it's just my creative outlet. I'm always at home working, so it's kind of like when we were locked down, I needed a creative outlet.
Yeah.
I know some people got to baking breads, and like additional sections of their homes, brewing beer, and Stuff like that. My outlet was just creating mixes.
Creating the mixes. I hear you. Hey, you're listening to House Culture Conversations. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're in the chat or you are lurking, we appreciate you so much. Having a great time with Emery Lee, aka Emery Lee 2014. So tell me, why do you think house music continues to thrive 40, 50 years later? G Quick Productions in the building. Amazing maestro. We'll be looking for you tomorrow, 4 p.m. on Twitch. G Quick Productions. Super awesome to have you. G Quick. That's it. That's it. So why do you think the music has continued to thrive?
Well, some people ask me where the soul come from. You know where I'm leading to. Soul comes from black church way back in the wood, way back. You know what I'm saying? But straight up, what it boils down to is, I know you got that reference. Basically, what it boils down to is like house music. House music hits to the soul of people, right? Especially when people are going through things that aren't tangible, whether it be, things aren't working out around the crib. Maybe you're dealing with some personal problems. Maybe you're dealing with problems with people you love or whatever. Well, with house music, from what I can deduce from chatting with people like events and stuff, is it just takes their mind away from that, And I feel like because it helps people find their peace, whether it be for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, hearing some beautiful music, whether it be like really nicely arranged music with horns or vocals, with like Miranda Nicole or Monique Bingham. I mean, the list goes on and on. I really like Rona Ray. She's a good one for me. It just, I think because that hits people in the soul and helps them, get their mind off of things. That's the reason why it lasts, right? Like even some of the newer music that I hear from people, who are doing like, now I'm not bashing on quick matching or quick switch or whatever, because I enjoy it too, but sometimes you just gotta
let it cook. You gotta let it simmer. Yeah, man, you're hitting a chord for me. I mean, we all grew up in Chicago on the Hot Mix, right? Hot Mix 5. That was hot and that was amazing. But to your point, yeah, I've played a song and you play it for it's like an 8-9 minute long, and you just let it cook. And like 3 minutes in, they're like, play your box. I'm like, I ain't did nothing. It's just the song is cooking, and it to your point, it's a spiritual thing. It is touching people, and that's what house is all about. It's not how fancy your tricks are. It's do you understand your music and what your music does to your audience? That's just an amazing point.
I know I lose it, man. When I go out to an event and they're playing some great selections, you ain't gonna see me sitting down.
He likes to move his body.
And I'll be in the middle of the dance floor. Even if the dance floor is empty, I'll be the only person on the dance floor. I don't give up. You know what I'm saying? If I'm feeling it and the vibe is right, I'll just be like,
hey, man, I take my hat off to you. I tell Dream Maker Diva all the time, I have no more dance move. I lost all my dance moves. I just move now. I just do little wild old man moves. So, I will move. I don't have no dance moves no more. But when it hits you, got to move. You got to move, right?
You do that. You can put your arms above your head.
That's it. You can do whatever you can do.
How they do it in that Rocky Horror Picture Show? Let's do the time warp again. You can get to it on a house track.
You can figure it out. you will figure something out, because when the music was, I want to get controversial with you. Not really controversial, but people talk a lot about house and what is house, what isn't house. That's EDM, that's this, that's that.
Yeah.
One of the things, I really appreciate about you, and I said it in the promo, is that, I've listened to some of your Mixcloud mixes, and you play a variety of styles and move them in and out, and you do it masterfully. And it's the thing I love about house. House isn't just it's old Chicago house, or it's the disco, or it's the Euro, or it's EDM. It's the ability to create feels.
Right.
And the feels come from all kinds of music. And I tell people, when I was coming up in high school, we'd listen to the B-52s, Rock Lobster, Devo, Sweet Dreams. And we listened to, it wasn't just this jack your body, jack, gotta have house. It wasn't just that. It was diverse.
Yep. Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing about it is finding the soul where it is, right? Like I was just in the car. My son and I, we went and got a library book that he took out, and on the way there, I'm trying to remember what the track is. I think it's a Cold Flow track. We were listening to it, and I pointed out to my son, see, they brought that. They started off with this, then they brought a little bit of this in. Now they're bringing a little bit more. You hear how they changed it? He's like, yeah, this is cool.
Quick gets it. You're listening to House Culture Conversations, and we're just having a time with Emery Lee, talking about the music and the culture that we love so much. Now let's talk a little bit about culture. You also are, I'll call it a man about town. I mean, you are connected to the scene. You are connected to a lot of the DJs. What are some of your favorite memories and house stories?
Man, I tell you what. I remember. So I have a lot of different memories about house, right? I remember in high school, my neighbor across the street had a party in his basement when his parents weren't home.
I know that very well.
Man, we was down there in the basement, man, just having a good time, and it just got overwhelmed. Like it had to get shut down, but just like the environment was really cool, and the thump of the music, and just like there was this place. I think it was like 75th and Exchange over there that way, around that way. It was called I believe it was called the Pleasure Dome. I wasn't old enough to get into Pleasure Dome, but we used to walk over there and listen to the music coming out of the place, and be like, hey, can we get in? Can we get in? So
if you couldn't get in, you just sit outside, because the music would be vibing and loud. You could enjoy it from the outside. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then going to Hyde Park racquetball court parties,
club, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did a
those
lot.
were good times. Those were good times. I remember when I lived in Japan, I went to go see Heather, DJ Heather, up in Tokyo, and Diz came and played. I went to go see him there. So it was really cool to see them there, because like in the 90s, I got to kind of like know them in a way. I used to work at this club called Karma, and Heather, Lady D, Colette, and Dehoda had a night there in the basement, in the lounge area there, and that conglomeration of ladies called Super Jane. And I used to sit down there and listen to them play, and I'm like, good Lord, they're awesome,
Yeah, they're back from the core. They're back from the core, the origins of this thing, for sure.
Yeah. And they're all really, really, really good, really good people, man. There's a lot of good people, man. It's really, really cool.
We had a question. Are you consistent? When do you actually stream on Twitch?
I stream on Twitch. I just started doing this in March. So that was another thing that was on my list. I do a twice a month show on Twitch called Funky Dilemmas. And I do it on the 8th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So think on the 8th, 8 to 10. And I do it on the 22nd from 10 p.m. to midnight. 22 military time, 10 from 10 to midnight. Yeah, so twice a month. And then, of course, like I got affiliate in the affiliate status in March. So now I try to do at least something each week, to keep the
status.
Yeah.
Keep it up, keep it maintained. Absolutely.
Yeah. The 8th and the 22nd.
8th and the 22nd. The 8th, 8 o'clock to 10, and the 22nd, 22 military time, 10 to 12.
Yes,
we got it.
Man. You got it.
That's it. So we got you coming up in 5 days on the 8th.
Thursday.
Okay. All right, everybody. We're gonna be looking for you. Now, where do you see house going?
I just see it continuing to go, right? I just see it as just staying status with the genre that it is. And because there's more and more producers creating, soulful music, right? It's so funny. I had a conversation about this in one of the chats one day about like somebody was saying that a lot of the newer stuff is being produced for house, which is very soulful, should be like the new R&B, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's questionable. I think it's still going to go on because I'm forever discovering, new music by new producers, remixers, editors, and it meets the criteria and the funk and the soul. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Hey, James Collins is in the building. James Collins, amazing maestro and producer. What's happening?
Yeah, man. It's good to see him in the chit chat.
Yes. Hey, well, we got to take this to a party. I see DJ Tila out there, Curtis the Long version.
DJ Tila's here.
What'd you say?
DJ Tila's out here.
Yep, she's on there. We want to raid to her.
Sure.
All right, well, we're raiding to DJ Tila. Man, this has been incredible. We're going to have to, sync up somewhere. There's some Twitch meetups. We're going to be doing a Twitch meetup August 3rd in Chicago. Some of the Soul Lifter Sunday DJs, Sweet D Sauce and DJ Harami. DJ Harami, who's in New York now, but via Japan. Yes. So that's August 3rd. So people in Chicago, make a mental note of that. We're going to have a good time. That's a Sunday. It's going to be Sunday afternoon party. So all of us can get home and get in bed and get our sleep, right? Get our 3,000 hours of sleep that we need at this age. But it has been a pleasure. What else would you leave the folks with?
Yeah, so check out my Mixcloud mixes. There's quite a few of them on there now. If you go to mixcloud.com/Emery Lee, that's EMERYLEE. It's my mixes are there. Also, just you could roll through, pull up on the 8th and 22nd, and follow me on Twitch. If you follow me on Twitch, you get notification when I go live and when I do pop-ups. So yeah.
We got you locked in. Now, what parties are you hitting this summer?
Ooh, I'm definitely gonna go to West. I'm definitely gonna go to West Fest this summer. I don't think I'll be able to go to the Chosen Few picnic. I think I have a commitment that weekend. I usually have a commitment that weekend. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, it's still young. It's still young. You're still waiting,
We'll
trying
see.
to get that good weather settled in up there. Well,
We'll
hey,
see.
I appreciate you so much. It has been a pleasure. Hey, G Quick Productions, thanks so much. Hey, we got to sign you up because we want to get that East Coast vibe live on Linux. So you just hit me up in the whispers or hit me on IG and let's get that scheduled real soon, brother. Would love to have you on the show. Shirai B, what's happening? Thanks for being with us. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. And hey, hang out with us
What
anytime.
up? Oh,
And if you want to see me try to keep up with these cats, hang out with us on the Fam Tram Express Tuesday nights, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. An Odyssey of Sound, myself, John Davis Jr., DJ Paco D out of Italy, and K-Shift Studio from Boston. And I can't say enough good things about those brothers. So thank you guys.
just if you don't know.
Yeah. Now we're going into DJ Teela's room. Please kick the door down, give her a big love, and we will see you guys next time. For everybody else on Facebook and on YouTube, we will see you next time. Hey, Emery Lee, hold on.